It was a seesawing affair in which the 12-man Roosters dug deep to snatch victory in the 80th minute. They lead the game 122 after 28 minutes, but the Sharks rallied and brought the game back to 14-all before a late Michael Gordon penalty goal ensured the Roosters' spot in this season's top four, while the Sharks dropped down the ladder and faced the possibility of an elimination final in a fortnight. They looked determined to give the game away, but the boys from the eastern suburbs of Sydney came out on top in an error-riddled game that moves them up to second spot on the ladder. The result comes despite an almost diabolical second half that was filled with handling errors, penalties and poor kicking. They bombed 2 chances to ice the game and repeatedly invited the Cronulla side into their half, ending the game with 15 errors and losing the second half penalty count 62. The captain Boyd Cordner was inspirational and their defence was resolute, keeping them in the grind until the death, but they'll be looking to improve on their discipline if they're to challenge for the title. They faded after 30 minutes in the loss to Manly in round 22 and similarly last week against the Tigers, but despite winning these last 2 games, their coach will be looking for an 80-minute performance to close out the regular season against the Titans. The Roosters gave them enough ball to win the game, but the Sharks just couldn't get it right in attack. They looked threatening on the edges at times, but passes went to ground on several occasions to halt their progress and allow the Roosters to recover. Maloney came up with a perfect kick for Valentine Holmes to score towards the end of the first half, and he started the second half with another pinpoint kick to earn his side a repeat set, but from there it was mostly disappointment for the Sharks playmaker. He managed to give away 7 tackle sets on 4 occasions with poor kicks that released the pressure on the Roosters, who were on the back foot for long periods. Maloney managed to put Luke Lewis, the Sharks' best player on the night, over for the match-levelling try, but if he wants to lead his side deep into the finals, he will need to find greater consistency in his game. They lead their side to a solid start, and Mitchell Pearce was particularly instrumental in getting them to a 122 lead inside the first 30 minutes. He got Blake Ferguson on the outside of his man for a line break before an inside ball gave Isaac Liu enough space to barge over for their first try. Pearce and Keary also linked well in the lead-up to Ferguson's try, but it all went a bit wayward from there. Pearce's kick out on the full from the set after the try looked like a turning point and allowed the Sharks to finish the half the stronger. Luke Keary threatened on several occasions in the second half, and he managed to break through the line to create an opportunity to extend the lead, but forced an offload that went forward and he ended the game in the sin bin. There was some great play from the Roosters' halves, but also some poor decision-making which a more clinical opposition would they punish them for. Much has been made of their poor completion rates this season, ranking amongst the worst in the competition, but despite completing at 80% tonight, the Sharks just aren't clicking as they would hope to be at this point of the season. They were dominated in the first 30 minutes of this one and showed great determination to fight their way back into the game, but a lot of that can be attributed to the Roosters' ill discipline. I touched on the poor execution, but their general organisation doesn't have the look of a side who can go all the way to the first weekend in October. Following a missed field goal by Mitchell Pearce that resulted in a 7-tackle set, the Sharks came up with a clunky set where they were often bunched around the play the ball. They only barely made it into the Roosters' half, and it ended with Chad Townsend dropping the ball before he could have his own a shot at field goal, and the Roosters won the game from the following set. Ryan Mattison and Mitchell Orbison lining up in the centres for the Roosters gave them a look of vulnerability leading into this game, but they shuffled the line and attacked to great effect at times. Latrell Mitchell and Blake Ferguson often found themselves on the inside of their backline partners in attack, which resulted in a classic centres try to Ferguson as he got on the outside of Latelli and crashed over in the corner. Mattison and Orbison were caught out on a few occasions with the Sharks finding space on their outside, but Mattison was able to shut down Capewell with some solid one-on-one defence in the second half. More concerning would be seeing Orbison break through the line with some typical second-rower style hole running, but was unable to finish the playoff with both the goal line at his mercy and Ferguson unmarked on his outside. Trent Robinson will be looking to either Joseph Manu or the return of the injured Daniel Tupou to add some more polish to their attack on the edges. Following Parramatta's victory on Thursday, this loss sees Cronulla fall to 5th, and the Panthers could also overtake them if they can come up with a win on Sunday afternoon. The Sharks looked like they would cruise to a top 4 finish during the first half of the season, but they haven't managed to carry those results through and have now won only 3 of the last 7. They'll need results to go their way, and coming up against a much improved Knights outfit at the conclusion of the regular season in Newcastle will be another test of their mindset leading into the finals, where they will most likely face a sudden death matchup in Week 1. What were your highlights from the Roosters' narrow win over the Sharks? Let us know in the comments below. Want to share your opinion? Why not write for us? Previous post, previous, next post, next.